So guys, your okay, Minahil has joined. Let me wait for if there will be any question related to this. So you can raise your hands or you can message me in the box. So I will respond you accordingly. So let's start with the very first topic. Sorry, very last topic of the situational letters of business letter writing. That is about the writing of brochures. So sometimes it comes into the mind like we say that we need to work on letter writing. So how brochures are going to be like this, how they can convey a message like we convey through the letters. You know, I'm sure you people have seen so many brochures and you receive still so many brochures. Nowadays we will receive brochures for Ramzan and Ramzan packages from some for so brochures basically create awareness related to what? Awareness related to any product that you are going to introduce into the company and you wanted people to know about it. So there we try to write down a brochure. We need to bring brochure so that people can get an idea of what you basically your company is doing, what services they are providing, what this company is launching, what's best in the product. So about related information about all this that we wanted to convey to public, we try to write down a brochure. Then brochure is also needed when we need to not only just generally introduce that to public, but also to develop a understanding of that product, of that service. For example, if you have launched any piece of mm, you can say any piece of shoes in your of your brand into the market. So you wanted uh, to develop like why you launched that, what is best into it. So to understand your company's agenda for the betterment of the people and for the comfortable for the comfort zone of the people, yeah. So you try to create a brochure and you write down these type of words into the brochure. Brochures are not only you are just visualizing things into it and you just showing through some sort of, you can say, images. No, you are also using language into it, and this all can be done with the use of language. Then brochures, obviously the core thing of the brochure is that we advertise our product, our service. Because when you are not going to convey that information to us, to one person or to two or three, but at least 200 or so many, on a majority level, when you are going to convey that information, there you create brochures. So that is an advertisement that on a bigger level a company or an organizations do. And that advertisement doesn't mean that it is going to bring the same idea again and again. Every time, when you are going to bring a new um, thing into your product or into your service, into your company, or you are making new amendments into that company or the product. So there you change the brochure. So the previous one left behind and you bring the newer one. So there we need to write down a brochure. Then when we talk about brochures, basically what brochures do, they try to bring change in people's attitude. How? You will see that I have quoted this example. Um, Maybe I will be not wrong. Maybe I will be wrong. But you know, how many of you can raise your hand by answering me. How many of you are using Lifebuoy as in hand wash or as in the soap of it or hand wash of it? How many of you are using it? Okay, out of 30, including me, out of 35, only 6 people are who are using Lifebuoy hand wash, and not the rest, including me. We are not. I'm not using it. So here you can get an idea that okay, Hamna. So here, see what we are having. We have not a good thought towards life. Why people mostly go for maybe Dettol. How many of are using Dettol more, and they think Dettol is more reliable towards germs as compared to Lifebuoy? How many of you think? You can raise your hand again. Okay, including me. I also support Dettol as compared to Lifebuoy. So including me, you can see that there are 8 people who are supporting Dettol as compared to the Lifebuoy. So from this, you can get an idea. Majority is with the uh, Dettol. So this is the one attitude of the people that I just wanted to give you this example to show you how brochures change the attitude, because brochures are advertising something. If you will see nowadays the advertisement of Lifebuoy, what Aiza Khan, and the actress who is portraying and a message towards people that I'm not promoting any soap, but I'm not promoting Lifebuoy, but I just wanted to ask you or to tell you that wash your hands, whatever the soap you have or whatever the soap is available to you at your home. From her words, obviously you and I, every common person who is not going to think on it so deeply, they will get an idea. Yes, she's very perfectly right, and yeah, really, she is not supporting Lifebuoy. She is just uh, talking about the soap, and the company is caring about people. They are not promoting their soap. But if you see the implied meaning of it, this is the explicit meaning that they have conveyed in front of you through the words of Aiza. But if you will see the hidden meaning of this advertisement, you will see that what she has done, screen is showing the Lifebuoy logo still there. Screen is showing the hand wash of Lifebuoy. Aiza is pronouncing the word Lifebuoy into it. Otherwise, she needs to say, I'm not promoting any soap, but I just wanted to ask you that you need to uh, convey you just need to wash your hands. She doesn't need to say, I'm not promoting Lifebuoy, you know. So these, if you will see that how language plays its role into the advertisement. Tactfully, the company basically kept himself in the favor of people that we are not advertising our soap, but we are caring about people. And when some innocent souls, they get this idea that how faithful they are, how truly they are caring, they try to use there. So, are you getting my point? So this is we do through brochures. Brochures do the same thing. With the use of some language, we play with the emotions of the people, and there we change their perception towards our product. And there we eliminate their negative thoughts towards our product. Got it? So this is brochures do. This is the type of advertisement on a social media, on a TV, that I have shown you. But if you will see the brochures, some people like they have written on the brochures as well that as Varid, if you will see the billboards of the Varid, or will see there this kind of thing, and they have written Varid because we care, or something like that, they whatever they talk about it. Then we what brochures, why we need to create, on the one hand, if we need to create change the mm, negative attitude of the people, on the other hand, what company needs, we are also living in a market, businessmen, they are living in the market that is going to face competition at every level. I don't think so in any business you are not going to face any competitors. So how your things are different from the other competitors, your opposition, there what you do, you advertise them in different way through brochures, and your brochures basically representing your company's agenda. And that's why if you are good in creativity to that, because they are not only advertising you, they conveying your message, they developing an understanding about your product. So that's why they should, if they are different, you will win the race. Then why we need to create the brochures? We need to create because we wanted to increase our customer and clients frequency. When more and more people will get interest about towards your product, you are going to be successful. And uh, without conveying the message agenda of your company, you can't do it. So this can be done through the brochures. And then it can, as I have told you, it can develop interest among the people. As much as your brochure is tactful with the language, as much as your brochure is clear, as much as your brochure bringing more uh, good thoughts and good ideas about your product, people will get more interested into it, and they will try to work according to it. Then if we will say that this much important a brochure is for a company, and it can enhance a lot of things, and it can bring a lot of change into the company, and it can stand a company on a good level. So obviously we can't design a brochure with a very simple idea. So for that we need some qualities into the brochure. What qualities we required into the brochure? We need to make it a detailed one. Like, you have seen the flyers are always more bold and with a very few words, with a very few words flyers are written. Basically flyers agenda is the important message is written onto it, and that's it. But brochures agenda is to convey everything to people that is required, that you wanted to convey. So that's why they are kept more detailed about that product. You write down its every feature, you include all the features of it into by writing it onto the, and by displaying through pictures as well onto the brochure. Then it is less developed than newsletter. Newsletter is more developed. If you have seen the I just forgot to bring a picture of it here. If you will see Newsletter is keeping every minor information into it that is not required. And with that, newsletter is consisting of, for example, if we are running 5 to 7 branches of the same company into different areas, so that newsletter is always having everything of the all individually. So that's why newsletter is more developed as compared to the brochures. Brochures will generally talk about the whole company's agenda. Then if you will go with the topic and amount of information, then you will see sometimes we need to think on it, that how much information we required into a brochure. It depends on your thought, how much information you wanted to convey. So your brochure size will be according to your piece of information that you wanted to convey. Clear? So then it can be easy to up to date and modify as compared to flyers and as compared to the billboards. Why? Because the visuals and the pictures and the text that you have mentioned over it, you need to just bring a change into it, and you can easily change it. Maybe sometimes you don't need to go for the changing of color combinations. Already you had the that format on your where you have designed it. So then you can easily modify it. Printing cost vary widely. Yes, as much as you are going to make it more informative, more developed, your cost is going to be more your cost is going to be increased. It depends. For example, some flyers are with only one picture and 2 to 3 lines text, and that's it. So obviously they will cost you less. Some flyers, sorry, brochures, I'm sorry, some brochures are with more color combinations, with more designing, with more text, with more pictures, so they obviously cost you more. So this depends according to the structure of your according to the structure of your brochure. Then criteria, there are obviously, if we say that there is some criteria we need to set for the letter writing for a brochure, that is not introduced to a one person but to a majority of people, to on a public level. So we need to set some criteria for it. So that's why it's first page, that is the title page, front page. It is going to have the topic. In the topic you are going to write down the product name, the services that you are providing with the product, the location where it is, and the subject of that what you will do through that product. Then the graphic, like any picture that you are going to put into it to represent your product or the company's agenda. Then you will go with the headlines with implied action. Headlines with the implied action means a statement is written which is going to show your action on that product. If you will see this slide, you will see this brochure, Meals on Wheels. This is their subject. They have shown the wheels over there, like vehicle is there and meal is in the hand. So you can see that they can get the meal on wheel. That is a kind of takeaway. And volunteers needed for it. So they required what? They required some people who are voluntarily do this work. This is, and you will see the color combination, like it's the very simple one. Colors and no extraordinary designing is there, so it will cost less. Then if you will go for like for example we have talked about like designing of that, then we have to talk about how the audience recognition and involvement will be done through it. Yes, this is very important to learn. Sometimes people make mistakes into the brochures. They don't try to focus on the language, on the statements, on the phrases, terminologies, whatever they have used. Instead of clearing your company's agenda to people, instead of clearing company's thought to people, they can confuse them more. So that's why we need to put focus on how much clarity we can bring through our brochures. Then personalize through pronoun usage and contractions. As I have talked to you in previous lecture, in business communication we preferably try to go for pronouns. We never try to write down the writer's agenda, the company's agenda, the CEO's agenda. No, it is going to be I or we and you. So all the pronouns can be used. Check for accuracy. Core thing, any type of writing must check it. Reduce your mistakes by proofreading it. And this is also important because see, a letter is written to one person to another, but when we talk about brochures, it is publicly displayed. Public displayed, that means you are targeting so many people, and your mistakes will not bring good like amount of people and amount of customers for the company. So that's why we need to be really conscious on it. Then what criteria for writing a brochures we require? So we talked about the front panel of the it. Now we are going to talk about the back panel of the brochure. Back panel of the brochure must consist of the company's goal, like what company wanted, what is the company's aims through this panel, and you are going to highlight them, or highlight them that what you have, you can restate that, or what your company will do in future with this product or with this service. So you can also mention that. Then the back panel also consists of the address, stamp pads, and then coupons. Yes, coupons means like sometimes if you have seen for example, if you are going to receive flyers of any cafes, if you get any McDonald's flyer, if you are getting at home, so you will see. Okay, Mariam, I got it. So you will see that they will what do, they will with those flyers they will write down some, they will give you some discounts, you know. And with discounts, some of previously a few months ago, there was a restaurant who was offering movie tickets on meal. So you will see how the company use it. So when you reached onto their, in that restaurant or in that cafe, they present you menu brochures. Those brochures are also there is also mentioned that there was also mentioned that you are going to get a movie ticket free with this one meal. So these are also the tactics that businessmen apply to attract the customers and clients. Then the last part of your brochure, of the back panel, it must consist of your every piece of contact that is related to your address, your hours of operation. Like some companies work for 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Some companies work 12 to 12. So in this way, and your location, your email address, everything. even nowadays it's more advanced. People more try to follow the maps. So mapping is also mentioned over there, that this is the way you can go. I don't know, I can't remember where I found on the brochure there was the mapping. They had, it was a brochure of a university maybe. I don't know. I just can't get it. But they had mapped over it that what, how they can follow it. Oh yes, it was the brochure of Garrison University. They launched the brochures for the conference. Yes, and in that brochure they given the map, roadmap. So you can go with it as well to make people more feasible and comfortable so that they can find you easily. Then criteria for writing brochures is also comes under when you have to choose the body panel of your letter, of your, sorry, brochure, from like how you have to write down inside of the brochure. Your brochure must consist of some major heading. A major heading is always on the top. Then related to that major heading, there are some subheadings that are conveying the related thoughts to the major heading. And navigational tools are also into it. Sometimes you also have to use you have to also be conscious while about font type and size. So I will give you the next lecture on it, in business communication, what type of font size and what writing pattern you need to use. So always make the heading bigger than the subheading, because your major heading is the most important idea that you directly wanted to hit towards the that directly you wanted to through that you wanted to hit the mind of your reader, so it should be more prominent. Then grammatically they should be parallel to each other. After that you are going to use some graphics. Yes, whatever the it's not about your text is important in a brochure, but you see that in the text, along with the text, first what you do, either you if in your life you have seen any brochure, you can raise your hands by answering me. uh, what you do, you first try to view a brochure or read a brochure. What you do? I will unmute those who will raise the hand. Okay, Maha, so what you do?
Ma'am, first I view the brochure.
You view the brochure. Perfect.
Yes.
Next, anyone else? Who anyone who just try to read the brochure first and they view it later? Yes, Hamna?
मैम
Yes.
आपको आवाज आ रही है?
Yeah, I'm listening you.
मैम I would like to read the brochure first कि या हो सकता है उन्होंने कुछ ऐसा कुछ अट्रैक्टिव रखा हो जो व्यू से ज्यादा रीड करने पे फोर्स करे.
Okay, the language you mean is more catchy to you than viewing it carefully. Okay, got it. Good. So here you see that view. Hamna, Fahad is saying view, Ikra is saying view. Yeah, majority is saying view. Why? Because we are always attracted towards the pictures, and our vision is the first thing that is going to catch that brochure or anything. Even it's not only about brochure. So that's why your layout, your pictures that you have chosen for the brochure, they must hit the good perfect planning of your idea. Then we, if they are according to our thought, according to what we desire, according to it, then we will I'm sorry, then we will try to read the text, otherwise we will not. um, um if you will see that when we try to go for entry test, and when we just leave the entry test hall, after at the end there are lots of people with the brochures distributing among the students, and they are having in those brochures they always have what they have about their companies, or the thought of their like what they are offering to students in their universities, in their colleges. So most of the people, if brochures are not that much attractive, we try to like tear them apart, or we don't care about them, we throw them right at the moment. But if any brochure you find a good picture of the university, you try to keep it. So this happens. So what tactics we use, and a company use, and how they grab the attention, it's totally a web. By using the brochure as a web to catch your prey into it, you do it. Or basically preying, uh, you are hunting, sorry, you are basically hunting through the brochures. So this what brochures do. Then you also answer the key questions instead of like letting your audience to go with the questions in the mind. To beforehand, some good companies, by the reviewing so many people's idea, they try to answer already into the brochures what they wanted to ask. And brochures always should be more audience oriented, because these are for the audience, for the readers. So they should must fulfill the needs of readers, not companies, not yours. So they should be around their thoughts, their desires. If you will see the brochure, this is a brochure that I have shown you. The very first top heading is about Little River Ranch, and this Little River Ranch is basically, you will see they have not only shown the river side, but they also shown what activities people do there. And not only in the river, but alongside of the river, whatever else is there, what area they have covered, we'll see. So people will even if they are not going to show the other pictures, and they're just going to show the picture of the river, so you will, and I also will be convinced, oh okay, then I can only go for boating into alongside of river. So that's why I will not prefer to it. But they have, by viewing the rest of the things and by giving the extra activities that you can go, and that you can do there, and you can go for it. So they have made a lot of things for the riverside, and that can be catchy for you. Then brochure design, yes, brochure designing is really important. As being student of designing, you must have better idea about it. For anything that you are launching, its designing is the core of it. Its designing is basically heart of the thing. Similarly is for the brochure. I'm not going to see your product. Your brochure is going to display in front of me your product's value. So that's why the way you are going to design it, I will get an idea, okay, how much worthable your product will be. So use 3 or so different highlights techniques. Limit your sentence length. Yes, sometimes people they try to write down a single statement with a lot, even 20 words, even 25 words. Don't try to go it. The brochure is not uh, what can I say, a, a notebook of you. It's just a brochure. So your sentence limit with the words should be 10 to 12. This is enough. Paragraph, okay, fine. If you are making paragraphs into that, make them 4 to 6 line based. 4 lines are more than enough. But if you wanted, sometimes we wanted to convey more things, so you can write it down into 6 lines, and that's enough. Use the white space, indentation you can use, and italicization you can use for the information. Then you can also color. Some words can be colored. Your brochure is already colored, so make a proper scheme, a color scheme. Sometimes don't choose the colors that are not prominent onto the brochure's color, the writing colors, sorry. Don't choose the writing colors that that can't be prominent onto that brochure's color. So color combinations are very important. Variety of it will be there. Sometimes those brochures who are single color based, sometimes they are not attractive. So it depends what type of product or things you are introducing in the market. So accordingly you need to go for it. Then bullet key points. Yes, if you will see the previous brochures, and you will see that they have used bullets here, here. So use it. And if you will see for the paragraphs, you can also see that 4 lines, 3 lines, 2.5 line, almost half line. So these type of they have used. So you can also use bold faces. They have you bold, they have bold the words in the statements, and you can underline them as well. Underline and boldface only those that you wanted first to be taught by the readers. So go for it. Then brochures, the design, when we talk about, then we also keep in mind in the designing that your text and graphics, they must complement each other, but they don't overlap each other. Like they should be related to each other, but it doesn't mean that they, whatever the text is conveying, uh, it is not according to the picture. So it should be complementary to each other. And then place graphics at the angles. I think you also being a designers, you also work on angles as well, so you have better idea that how to keep the pictures and the text on which angle, right or the left, with how much a margin. And don't over design it. Sometimes people do a lot of designing, they put it like your text is going to be hide into that designing, so that will be also negative for you in the brochures. So it should be on mutual and equal. If you will see this designing, this is for the kids, because it's the art competition that is going to art learning session. So that is for the kids. And you know, kids are more attractive towards the colors, so you will see that how the designing is done. It is very catchy, and some bright colors along with some light colors are also used. It's not full of brightness. And you will see where the main message is there they have the white space, and in that white space their major headings are with the colored one, and the rest is black. So you will see how the words are complementing each other. And designing is like according to the audience. So this is the way. If you will put the pictures of elders here, but this is for the children, so you will see that how vague it is. On the one hand, you are writing that only children are going to do this learning activity of arts, and on the other hand you are writing for the kids, oh sorry, elders. You are putting elders into it, so that will not be understandable, that will be confusing. So don't try to with this kind of brochures. That's all. I have marked your attendance, and let me to unmute you guys, and those who wanted to ask any question, they can. We will have discussion